Hello, hello. This is Barbary, the Wexford Stamper, and welcome to my Wednesday Facebook Live. Hello, Renee and Joanne. So great to see you too. And tonight, I'm going to be sharing some projects that I made using the Dainty Flowers DSP. Hello, Anne. How are you? Hello, Mary. I know you're there too. Oh, I made like a rhyme. That was awesome. All right, but I digress. All right, so this is the paper that you get. Let me come back to myself as part of one of the celebration options. Now, if you don't know what celebration is, this is 2 months during the course of the year where Stampin' Up! Offers some free product based on the purchases you make in the mini catalog, which I have here, or the larger annual catalog. And the one tonight that I'm going to be using is the Dainty Flowers. All right, this is one you can pick up free with $50 order. Remember, if you don't feel like you need any stamp sets or anything, you can always stock up on paper and spend $50 easily for paper and adhesives and things like that. And then you can get the paper and work on some of these projects. So, all right, let's go ahead and put this away for now. Always remember that I have put together a PDF that is available after the live stream is over, and it will be on my blog. And my blog is www.thewexfordstamper.blogspot.com. All right, so go on over there. You can download and get to see what is on for all these projects. Now, this is quite a long one. I've made several projects that I'd like to get through tonight. So hopefully I can get through them fairly quickly, because I'm sure you have other things to do, but I'm so glad that you could come. Thank you, Joanne. So let's go ahead and get started right away. Okay, let's start with this piece of paper. Now, I've already cut off a set of the ovals, but this is actually a piece of the paper that comes directly in the pack, the paper pack. And I love how Stampin' Up! Does this. It makes it so easy to make just gorgeous cards. And let me show you the ones I made using this page. And here they are. So easy and fun to put together. And you can tell by looking at them that they aren't hard at all to make. So pretty. I just love the floral in this paper pack. All right, let me show you how to cut apart your paper so that it works for each of these cards. All right, you're gonna grab your paper and either side, now I've already cut off the other side, but you're gonna cut at 5 inches, okay? So take it out so that your ovals are along the left-hand side, and you're gonna cut at 5, all right? So let's go down 5 inches. Okay, so there, now that kind of frees up all your ovals. And you also have this piece here that you could probably use on a beautiful card as well. So don't throw away any of those. Lots and lots of choices. All right, oops, I should bring this back. Then what I'm going to do is cut apart each of these ovals, and that we cut at 4. Okay, so we do a 4, and a 4. Okay, so those are all those cut, 5 by 4. Now you're going to notice that with some of them, the sides are not quite the same length. This is one that was on the side, and you can notice that that's a little shorter on the one side. So what I do is I'm going to take off 1/8 of an inch off this side. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing here. So I take 1/8 of an inch off each of the pieces. Okay, That looks a little more centered to me, okay? And then what that allows me to do, let me grab my paper here. I'm going to use a piece of Blushing Bride for my base. Okay, and then I'm going to use a piece, this is 4 by 5. And remember, we cut this original out at 4 by 5. So now that I've cut off 1/8 of an inch on each side, you can see that you have a tiny bit of a border all the way around. And in fact, I think I'm going to cut another 1/16 off this edge. So you want to make it a little smaller than the 4 by 5 so that you can see the paper around the bottom. Okay, because if you leave it 4 by 5, you really don't have much space to put your paper. There, that's a little better. And this paper color I used here was, this is Old Olive. Okay, so you're going to take your paper that you cut off out of your paper pack. You're going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue on the back. And then you're going to place that right on layer it on your cardstock. And this is Old Olive. And let me show you the other cards. I used Old Olive on this one. I used the Rich Razzleberry on this one here. Oops, I'm too high, sorry. And I used the Orchid Oasis. No, I'm sorry, Midnight Sky on that one. And the way you can figure out the colors to use is just look on the back of the paper pack and it lists all the coordinating colors if you're not sure. Okay, then I'm just going to go ahead and place that right on the front of the card. Okay, and center it as best I can. You're going to have a little more space on the sides than the top, just to the nature of the piece of Designer Series paper. That's how quick that comes together. Then what I did, I took an oval. This is a stitched oval, but any oval you have, you can measure and see which size fits best in your oval of flowers. And I just thought that one was the best. Let me measure it and tell you what size this guy is. He is 2 1/4 inches across. So one that's 2 1/4 inches across will probably be the oval from the oval set that you have that you want. Now I just kind of pulled out a bunch of stamp sets that I have to use sentiments, since I really don't have a stamp set. I didn't buy a stamp set to go with this. So I pulled out Simply Succulent. I'm going high today. I don't know. I'm having, there we go. That's better. And I pulled out the Thanks. So go through your stash and see what sentiments you already have. There's no sense grabbing or buying a new set just for the sentiments, because this paper really doesn't need a stamp set that has images. All right, so there is my Thanks. I'm going to stamp that in the Old Olive. And then I'm just going to grab a couple of dimensionals. Come on, dimensionals, come to me. There we go. And just pop that right in the middle, and that's how quickly this comes together. Now I did doll it up a little bit with some embellishments, and let me share what I used. I used the classic matte dots. These are great if you want to decorate a card, but you don't want sparkle. These are really pretty, just matte colored dots. They come in black, gray, and white, so very nice and neutral. I'm going to grab my pick tool and I'm going to just place 3 of these around on my card. Okay, let's see. We'll put one right on beside the Thanks. I'm going to stick with all white here. Then I'm going to put one up there and put one over here. Let's see. How about there? Okay, so there's a couple of, not a couple, 3 little matte dots that add to it so pretty. And then lastly, I have a little linen thread bow. That's out of the linen thread. I'm going to grab my glue dots and just adhere one of these onto. Okay, remember I'm going to adhere the little center of the bow right onto the glue dot. Then I'm going to grab my pick tool again. This pick tool comes in handy for so many things. There we go. I got it up and off the strip. And then I'm going to just place it right over here to the left of my sentiment. And there we have it. How quickly that came together. That took me very short time. So this is a great idea. There are enough to make 12 of these with all the designer series paper. So really quick and easy. You could put together a pack of lovely cards for somebody. So that's my first one. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next card. I'm going to show you some of my cards first, and then we'll move on to others. This is another quickie that I really liked. We are taking a piece of the paper, and then we're pairing it with one of the more neutral pieces. Same color, but more of a neutral. Okay, so let me show you how quick these come together. And remember, all the dimensions for all the paper and everything will be on my PDF. So if I forget to share a dimension, don't worry. It'll be on that PDF for you. Okay, let's go ahead and make one that looks like this one. Okay, this one I used the paper that had the rich razzleberry and the fresh freesia. I just thought that was such a gorgeous card, me and my purple. All right, so let's go ahead and make this card. You're gonna just take a white piece of cardstock, basic white, okay, and we're gonna put it so that the fold is to the left-hand side. Hi, Jean. Oh, good, well, come on in. I just finished one here with the little oval of flowers, and you can go back and watch that. You're here for the second one, so you're not very late at all. Okay, now for this, I'm going to be using a piece of a more neutral, this little polka dot, and that is going to pair up with the coordinating flower pattern. Okay, now this piece of DSP here is 2 by 5 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there, and he's going to go right up against the left-hand side of my card front. Okay, now we're going to bring in the other piece, and this is cut at 3 by 4 3/4. Then we're going to grab a piece of coordinating cardstock. This is cut at 3 1/4 by 5. And we're going to go ahead and layer them. And it is the fresh freesia cardstock. Okay, let's go ahead and get a little bit of glue on that. Then we're going to layer on my cardstock piece, and then we're going to take the whole thing, a little more glue on the back, and we're going to layer it right on the front of the card. Now, I'm going to layer it so that it's fairly close to the right-hand side and top and bottom. So you want to have about the same amount of space for your border around these 3 places here. And then you're just going to press it down flat with your liquid glue. Okay, so that's the base right there. And then what I did is I took another piece of basic white, went into my stash, and grabbed my Label Me Fancy punch. You guys might have this, but you could use any label punch or any punch that you have in your stash. And then I grabbed my Biggest Wish stamp set, and I like the hello right there. Thought that was cute. Now you can always just go through your stash and find out what you like best. Okay, so let me go ahead and get my hello ready to go here. And then I'm going to bring out my fresh freesia ink. And we're going to go ahead and stamp that right on my little label here. A circle would work, a square would work, a diamond would work. Lots of different shapes would work. It's a real basic card, but it's so pretty. The paper does all the work for you. Okay, let's bring this back in. I'm going to go ahead and place my sentiment right there on the bottom left corner. I'm sorry, bottom right. Yes, it is. That's what we're trying to do. All this paper you have, let's make use. All right. So then I'm going to go ahead and put this at the bottom right-hand corner like that. Now I love to doll it up a bit. And this time I used a little bit of the crumb cake baker's twine. This comes in a pack with all the different neutrals. There's black, there's crumb cake, there's white. There's very vanilla baker's twine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick that down using a glue dot so you can see how quickly these cards can come together for you. You could make bunches of these. All right, this would be a great one to do all your cutting and then have kind of a assembly line putting together. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to grab my pick tool again, and we're going to put that little bow here on the left hand at the bottom. And for this one, I just thought it was just so pretty that I was going to use a few of the little pearls. Okay, so I'm going to add some pearls because you need to use all those embellishments up too, right? All right, and we're going to go with our rule for 3. My first one is going to go right beside the hello here at the bottom. And then we're going to spread 2 others. One there. One there. So you could use pearls. You could use the matte dots that I used before. You could use rhinestones. Whatever you feel. But use up those embellishments as well. So there's the card. The other one I showed you used the Midnight Sky. Okay, and that was a different paper, but I pulled out the Midnight Sky with the cardstock and the piece of DSP there on the side. So this has lots of options with this card. Quick, and when it's on the white card base, you just have to stamp your sentiment inside and you're good to go. All right, so that's number 2. All right, and we're still going. I know you think this is crazy. How many are we doing? I just couldn't stop coming up with ideas. This one is a gatefold card. I just thought the paper was so perfect to make a little gatefold card with a belly band. So the belly band slides off, and then you can open it up, and then you can have your sentiment on the inside. But look at these beautiful floral panels on the side there. So pretty. Okay, let me show you how easy this guy is to make. Okay, let's put him aside here. We're going to bring in a piece of the basic white cardstock. Now this is scored at 1 1/8 from each side. So I put it on the scoring board, scored at 1 1/8. Now you cannot use our scoring board. They don't have 8s. Oh, yes, they do. Never mind. 1 1/8. And then I turned it and scored at 2 1/8. Are you totally confused now? 2 1/8 from each side. Okay? Then we're going to just fold on those score lines to create our gatefold. Uh-oh. I don't think I scored it at the right place. Let me try again. 2 1/8. It's not at the right place. 2 1/8. I wasn't following my own directions. So I'm going to have to fold it a bit farther over. Mine will be a little sloppy, but yours will look perfect. So we have to fold and score. Score and fold at 2 1/8 from each side. Let's see how much better this looks. Now it's coming together. You'll have a little space in the middle, but you shouldn't have that giant amount. So you score at 2 1/8. Oh dear, it's been a day. Okay, then you're gonna grab your paper panels here. The DSP is cut at, let's see, I gotta get to my right page here. Okay, the paper is cut at 1 7/8 by 5 inches, and this is 2 by 5 1/4. All these measurements are on the PDF, so it might be better not to listen to what I'm saying and just read the PDF because I'm having some issues tonight. Okay, so then I'm just going to layer the pieces of DSP right onto the panel. It's beautiful paper. I love the dainty flowers, just like its name. The floral is so pretty, and it's got violets in there, which are one of my favorites. So it's perfect. And now we're going to go ahead and put these right on the front of our gatefold card. Okay, so let's go ahead and put some glue on both of those. And these come together very, very quickly and nicely. You can get yourself all ready for all the spring holidays that are coming up. Okay. Gonna put that one here. And now we're ready to do some embellishing. That's how quickly that comes together, but that's really all it needs. It's just gorgeous. Okay, now let's go ahead and bring in my circle and coordinating scallop. This circle is cut out using the circle dies, and it is a 2 3/8 inch circle. And then the coordinating scallop is in Pear Pizzazz. All right, for this one, I went back to a one that I really like, and it's this biggest wish again. Okay, and what I did is I took the thanks from there, and I grabbed my blushing bride. I'm gonna stamp the thanks right on the card first. Not on the card, on the circle. Up toward the top. And there is our thanks. That's so pretty. Blushing bride is such a pretty color. Yep, it's Pear Pizzazz. Yep, I used Pear Pizzazz for this one, the lighter green. You could use Old Olive as well. All right, and then I am going to use some of the darker starry sky. I was calling it Midnight Sky. It is Starry Sky. And I think I might have written Midnight Sky on the PDF, but you will know just what I mean, I'm sure. And for this one, I grabbed the friend from the same stamp set and just stamped that along the bottom. Isn't that cute? I love how that looks. Yes, you're right, Joanne. Pretty and simple. That's what I kind of shoot for, because then you can make lots of these. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue on the back of my circle and layer that right onto, whoa, what else? Layer that right onto my scallop. Now I'm going to grab this piece. This is cut at 11 by 1 1/2, I'm thinking, or 1 1/4. 1 1/4. That was a 1 1/4 inch, and this is going to create our belly band. Okay, so the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to put this down here on my work surface, and I'm going to lay the card right on top. Okay, Then I'm going to go ahead and take my bone folder and I'm going to make a little score line as if I was using the scoring board right on those spots that are right next to the card. Then that will help it easily fold up on the card. Okay, and make sure it's not too tight. You don't want it to be too tight that you can't slide it off. Okay, then I'm going to let the one side pop up, put a little bit of glue here, and then fold that back down. Okay, and your belly band. Hey, Mary. Good to see ya. All right, hope you're feeling better. All right, so our belly band's on, our sentiment is ready, and all we need to do is, I'm just gonna place 3 dimensionals right across the center of the belly band, take off the backings, and then we're just gonna measure so that goes right in the center. And there it is. That's how easy that one is. And again, with this one, I grabbed the basic pearls and I just grabbed one of these, one of the largest, and just put that right here on the side. But remember, you need to use those embellishments, so make sure you're grabbing your pearls or your rhinestones or your matte dots, whatever you got, and put them on your card. So that is card number 3. How about that? I actually have some more. The next one I'm pretty excited about. All right, the next one's we're going to show you a 3D project, but it has a card too. It's this little set here. Okay, we have this mini little gift bag. Mini, but still good. Thank you for the bless you. I don't know why I'm sneezing now. So, and this is the card that goes with it. All right. And you'll notice that I used that same piece of DSP for both things. All right. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about how I created this. Okay. Now let me move these. Okay. This is the piece that I used to create both the card and the gift bag. Okay, so I'm going to hold it vertically and I'm going to cut off one of the sides at 6.5. Now I know that's not the center and you could do it at 6, but I chose 6.5 so that I could make a little bit of a border, contrasting border at the top. If you don't want that contrasting border, you can just do 6 and then you'd be able to make 2 out of 1 sheet. But I went with 6.5 just so I would have that contrasting border. So out to 6.5. Okay, and I'm going to cut that off. Okay. Then I'm not going to need all this paper, so I'm going to cut this off at 9.5. So let's bring this back in. And we're going to cut off this long piece we just cut at 9.5. Okay? And then when I was creating, I said, hey, this would be something I could use to make, to make a card. I think socks would fit in here, especially with spring coming. We can put some footies in there, right, Renee? I know, you are so smart. All right, we're going to put this aside for now, okay? But we will get back to that. We're going to work on the box or the bag first. Okay, let's go ahead and bring up my scoring board. We'll put the 9.5 inch side up at the top. All right, let's do some scoring here. On the long side, we're going to score at 3, 4.5, 7.5, and 9. 3, 4.5, 7.5, 9. And then on the short side, we're going to go with 3/4. That's going to be our little flap that we're going to turn over to give us our little contrasting color at the top. And then 5.5. That's it. All right. Let's go ahead and grab our bone folder. Let's go ahead first and fold down our contrasting color. Okay, and use your bone folder to crease that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and flip that back up, and we're going to fold on all this other score lines. Okay, this is a real easy project once you get the hang of it. And these are such sweet little bags. All right, and then we have our tiny little skinny panel here at the end. And finally, our bottom panel that is going to create our flaps and our bag bottom. All right, so let's put that aside for now. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and take our Tombow, and I'm going to go ahead and put glue along the top where our contrasting color is going to be. I'm going to fold that down, and I'm going to take my bone folder and run it over, and this will get it to stay down pretty fast. Okay, so there is our contrasting color along the top. Now you want to go ahead and fold and pinch here, since now you have a little bit of a thicker fold up there at the top. Okay, now let's work at the bottom here. Okay, we're going to need the scissors. Here we go. We're going to cut off this small little rectangle here in the corner. And this is where we're going to put our glue to adhere the bag together. I'm going to turn it over because it's easier to see the lines on this side. I'm going to cut up all the vertical score lines. Okay. And you don't need to do any wedging on this one, because you're going to notice when I put it together that the sides don't touch each other. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. All right, let's fold over with the inside out. We're going to go ahead and fold over and grab my glue again and go right over this thin panel right there and fold across. Okay, and because you did amazing scoring, it's going to match up perfectly. Then I'm just going to kind of take my bag and fold it back and forth and make sure that's glued down. Okay, then we're going to turn the box over. Now let me show you what I mean. Because we had to be careful, because I didn't want any of the flowers to be blocked by the top of the bag. The bottom of the bag isn't going to close like most of my bags do. They're going to touch these two panels, but they're not going to go all the way to the edge. And that's okay. It's going to be fine. But what I would do is I would definitely add some glue on those smaller tabs as well. Then put down one, and then you want to add a little bit of glue on the edge of that one and put that down. I'm going to turn it back the other way, grab my bone folder, there it is. Pretty cute, huh? All right, let me show you what I did with in fact, I'm not going to do it because I feel like we're pressed for time and I'm taking too long. But what I did do is I took some of this metallic, but you all can just check your stash and see what you have. Okay, let me grab it here. Here we go. This is Orchard Oasis. I thought it was purple enough to go with the bag. And all I did was punch holes in both of the sides and then string the ribbon through and put a knot there. Okay, now let me go ahead and do this. All right, for that, I just took a small circle like this. I'm going to do it the exact same way as I did it here. And let's see what set I grabbed for this one. I used a lot of sets. How about flowering tulips? I used Just Thinking of You Today. Okay, that would be a really cute little sentiment you can put there. I'm going to use some rich raspberry for that one. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that to the center of the circle. There we go. And then I'm just going to take a dimensional. And I just thought that was the perfect spot for it right there. Okay, you could put a tag on your bag if you wanted to, but it's just as nice with a little sentiment adhered to the front, just like that. Here's a finished product with my ribbon. Okay, so that's the bag. All right, let me show you how quickly the card comes together. You'll have, from what you cut away for your bag, you'll have this piece left over. Okay, so I need you to take this piece and you are going to cut away some of it, and I can find it on my paper here. You're going to start with a Blushing Bride card base. Okay, this one I made with the fold on top. Okay, this is the piece that we have left. We're going to do a little bit of trimming. This is going to be cut off at 5. So we're going to keep the width, but cut off the top at 5. We'll take away some of that white space on top. Okay, so we're going to cut it at 5. So you want to make sure you're cutting away the white space there. So it's 5 inches tall. Okay, then you're going to bring in a piece. This one I used is Rich Raspberry, and this is cut at 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. Remember, all these dimensions are on the PDF, and that will take care of all if there's any confusion with the measurements. But you see how nicely that fits onto that panel, and we used up the whole strip of cards of DSP. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put that right here on the left-hand side of my card base. That's right. It would be great for Easter. Yep, that would be a good bag for Easter. And then I actually am using, it's nice that you said that, but I am going to be using the Happy Mother's Day. So this would be nice for Mother's Day as well. If you have a Happy Easter sentiment stamp, you could do that. But I'm going to go ahead and do the Happy Mother's Day. Let me make sure I have the right stamp here. Yep. Let me show you which set that's from. I think I've used a bunch of sets tonight. This is Daffodil Daydream. If you have this one, this would be perfect. You could make some of them with Easter blessings and some of them with Happy Mother's Day. So it works perfectly. All right. Oh, you're welcome. I just couldn't decide which one to use, so I said, I'm just going to show them everything I got. All right. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to take the Happy Mother's Day, stamp that right here on the strip. Let me measure the strip and see what we got here. I think it's 7/8, but I'm unsure. 7/8. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and flag the right hand side, and then I'm going to go ahead and place it on my card. Okay, let's see. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way tonight. Okay, I'm going to go in from the center about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to cut up from each of the corners. Cut down from that corner, not cut up from both. Cut up and cut down. Then you have your little flag. Then you're going to go ahead and grab some dimensionals. And you can place that right on your card. Isn't that so quick and simple? And your recipient will be so amazed that your bag and your card coordinate with each other. They'll say, "How did you do that? My goodness." But isn't that pretty? And I think it would be just as great as an Easter pair. Yep, Anne mentioned that. Yep, great idea. All right, I've got one left. Okay, so this is one that I love to do every spring. And these are little seed packets. Okay, sometimes people make these for weddings. Okay, they'll give you a little pack of seeds, and I guess you tear one open and you can throw those when the bride and groom go by. I just think it's a great little spring gift to give somebody. So I'm going to show you how to make these. These are very quick and fun. Okay, now first I'll tell you where I got these seeds. And I actually got them at Walmart, and they came in this pack. It's Seeds of Change, and there's 4 packs inside. Now, I'll warn you that they're a little bigger than some of the other packs of seeds, and that's okay. All you need to do is, if you get a different size, you can just cut off some of the top of your packet there that's sticking out, but it should work either way. But the Seeds of Change, they are available right at your Walmart. That's where I got them. So let me show you how fun and quick these are to make. Okay, let me get my dimensions here. I'm going to make one tonight with old olive. Okay, so I'm going to start with a piece of old olive cardstock. And this is cut at 4.5 by 9 1/4. Okay, then I turned it on the long side, scored at 2 3/4 and 4 1/4. You can see right there, it just, those 2 close together lines, that's where you're going to go ahead and fold and make the little bottom to your pouch that's going to hold the 2 seed packets. Okay, so that's really the whole thing, just like that. Okay, we're not going to close off the sides because the ribbon will hold that together. All right, now for the front of the pouch, you're going to use a piece of the Designer Series paper from the Dainty Flowers pack, cut at 2.5 by 4. And we're going to put that right there on the front. Isn't that so pretty? I love it. All right, so let's go ahead and put a little glue on there. And that just goes as best as you can, center, right there, okay? Then you're gonna go ahead and grab 2 seed packs. I'm gonna put these 2 in and just slide them in so that they touch the bottom. And then you're gonna grab your ribbon. And for mine, I just went in my stash and I found some nice neutral ribbon. This is called embroidered ribbon. And I just thought it was a nice neutral that would go very nicely with the flower design. Okay, this is called embroidered ribbon. Is that what I said? I can't remember. Yes, embroidered ribbon. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this off. Oh, you're very welcome. I'm glad you like them. Okay, so I've got my long piece here. I'm just going to kind of put my pouch right on top. And then I'm going to tie my bow And you want to have it a little tight so that it closes the front up against the packs of paper and holds them in for you. And don't worry if the bow isn't right where you need it. You can always slide it around once you get it done. So there is my bow. Ooh, I did pretty good this time. Pretty amazing. Okay, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut off my ends. That one looks like it's about the perfect length already. Cut off the bottom. And that's it, really. But I'm going to have to add a sentiment. You know me. And for this one, I'm going to grab a 1/2 inch piece of basic white. No, I say 3/4 inch of basic white. For this one, I'm grabbing Happiness Abounds, but you grab what you got in your stash, and we're going to make it a happy birthday gift. Okay, I'm going to grab some of the Starry Sky, and I've got my happy birthday here, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that onto my strip. There we go. Love the font of this sentiment, so pretty. Oops. All right, then I'm going to grab a punch that I've had for quite a while and enjoy using. You guys know this one. Get it out of your stash. Let's use it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead, and these are fun because they can make all different size sentiment strips, starting at 1/2 and going up to 1. So all I do is I put this in the channel that is the 3/4 inch. Then I turn it over. It's best to turn it over to make sure that your strip is going all the way to the back. You see how it's touching the back there? You want to make sure it's doing that. And then you're gonna, okay, so have one side there. Same thing again. Gonna put it in. On the 3/4 inch channel. Make sure it's all the way to the back. And all right, I am thinking it's too long. I didn't cut enough off before I did my, let's try again. For those of you that like a replay, okay, in through the channel, turn it over. You just want to make sure your strip is a little shorter. Okay, then I'm going to punch, and then it gives you your nice little edge. Okay, same thing on the other side. Turn it over on the channel. Make sure it goes all the way to the back. There it goes. And punch. There, now that one is much more manageable. That other one was a little crazy. Okay, last thing we do here, we're going to go ahead and grab 2 dimensionals. And we're going to place this right on the bottom right hand here. This would be a cute little happy birthday gift for a friend who likes to have a flower garden in the summer. Just so many things you could do this with. You could figure out what, maybe use vegetables instead, or there's just so many different things you can do. And these come together really, really fast. So that is finally the last one of the projects for today. Let me see if I can grab all that I have today. Okay, we can look at the cards first. Here were the 3 different, there was our 3 different card designs. And remember, all the card designs, all the 3D projects, all the information is on my downloadable PDF. Okay, So we've got those, and then we have our lovely bag and matching card. Perfect for Mother's Day or Easter. And finally, we have our cute little seed packets. Okay, so I hope you found some great ideas that you are excited and inspired to try. I try, Mary. You know, you guys are very demanding, you guys. I know I have to be on my toes. So I hope you found something tonight that will inspire you to try. And now I have challenged myself for one more week, since we only have a little more time during our celebration. Next week, I'm going to take on this paper. This is Favored Flowers, and this is in the celebration freebie brochure, and I am going to challenge myself to come up with some great projects for next Wednesday. So I already got my thinking cap on, and I have a little bit of a hint I already got from Mary Harshall for one of the projects. But I am going to take this challenge on and come back next Wednesday and see what I come up with. So thanks so much for joining me today, everyone. And I will see you back next Wednesday. Don't forget, if you make some of these, to post them on my VIP page so I can see what you guys are working on. Thanks again, everyone, and keep stamping. Bye-bye now.